Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 19 and counting. And as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. And joining me today is my co-host and beautiful, adoring, lovely wife, Sarah Coryell. Sarah, welcome to the Home Defense Show.
Thank you, Skip. It is good to be here today.
Well, you are beautiful and adoring and lovely. Don't you think so?
Uh,
I guess the important thing is that I think so.
yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Thank
So
you
you
for
can
that.
be humble
Thank you for
and
that.
I can be proud of my wife. Sarah, day before yesterday, I was in here working on the show, and you came in and you were all excited and you said, honey, you've got to come out and you've got to watch this movie with Amethyst and I. And I said, what is it? You said, My Fair Lady. What did I tell you?
I kind of intentionally forgot that.
That was a traumatic experience for you?
Not anymore. I forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember what I said. I said, I don't really like that movie. It's very, very boring.
There might have been a few more words.
My Fair Lady, that got Audrey Hepburn and I think Rex Harrison, and that is an incredibly dull movie for a man.
You know what? Our son Phoenix explained it to me.
Oh,
Because he sat through and watched it with us 2 nights in a row. We're on the second. We've got one more night worth of watching. He gets to the end of her tirade, and she just kind of comes out. She's all upset with Henry again. She's like toying with him like a cat and a mouse, right? She's just going on and on about no more words. Just show me if you care about me. And Phoenix says, I do not understand that scene at all. And Amethyst and I just start laughing and laughing. We're like, she's just having, it's like it makes so much sense, girl emotional perspective. But Phoenix was like, what is she saying? Why is she doing that to him? I don't understand.
I don't understand anything that you've just said. I did not follow any of that.
She's upset with the one. It's
Okay,
okay. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
It really doesn't matter. It's
Don't
okay. But it
don't
was
tell me.
funny.
This is all I can handle. I did watch that movie once. No one dies. No one's shot. There's no explosions. There's no car chases.
She might have thrown a few things.
It's not the same, okay?
I love the growth of the characters. I think it's
When you came in and asked me that, I was watching a movie on Amazon,
yeah.
called Infinity. Action, adventure, people are dying, they're getting blown up. And it's like, how does that compare? It's,
Doesn't.
you're right. It doesn't. Folks, men and women, apparently we're different.
I appreciated our son watching it with us though, and like trying to bridge the gap.
Well,
He did
hey,
a good job.
I watch movies with you like that sometimes,
Yeah.
just to show you that I love you,
I watched.
that I care about you.
We're gonna put our listeners to sleep.
Yeah. So what's on the show today, Sarah?
Folks, we have a great show for you today. First, we're going to speak with Gil Maza, a retired Border Patrol agent. And then we will discuss a self-defense scenario in our shootingclasses.com self-defense report with Sheriff Darleaf from the great state of Michigan.
But before we get too far into the show, let's thank our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, and Centershot Indoor Gun Range. And now it's time for our Home Defense Show Quote of the Week. What's the quote this week, Sarah?
The quote this week is from, well, we're not exactly sure who it's from, but it goes like this. People sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf.
Now, you and I discussed this before the show. I thought, man, this is a fantastic quote. I just love it. People, everyday people, sleep peaceably in their beds at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. That is noble. That is good. That is true. That's heroic. And you told me you didn't like it. I don't understand that.
In my defense, I said, you asked if I liked it, and I said, you like it.
Yeah, I know, but that implies that you don't like it. What don't you like about that?
It makes me sad to think that people who are already scarred in their hearts might risk getting more scars in their hearts by doing violence so I can sleep. It makes me sad. I want them to heal and be happy and
Well,
clean.
it's not just so you can sleep.
It's sad. I
I think it's fantastic. I really, really do. I love this one. And I think probably most men do.
yeah, that's fine.
This quote, I did some online stuff. I went to Hillsdale College website. They've got something called the Churchill Project because this quote is routinely attributed to Winston Churchill, but in their studies, they saw nothing to indicate that it came from Churchill. He said similar things, but not this exactly. But it's a great quote. If you're a man, if you're a woman who's sensitive, filled with estrogen and feeling and emotion and love for your fellow man, not so much.
I appreciate that they protect me.
Honey, I am one of those rough men, and I stand ready to do violence on your
Well,
behalf.
thank you for that. I
I
hope
will
that you
do
don't
that.
have to, though.
And if
but
my heart is scarred in the process, then I'll just have to suck it up and
we'll pray
make
for
it
you.
through it. You'll pray for me. Okay, thank you. All right, and now it's time for our home defense show, Hero of the Week. Who's our hero this week, Sarah?
This is a great story. I think our listeners are going to like this. A mother and daughter battled back against an intruder who entered their Southern California store and tried to steal catered food they had prepared. Carol Garnier, a chef and owner of Prepped with Love in Westminster, told the station the man got inside the store around 7:45 p.m. and the surveillance video shows the intruder entering the store and heading straight for the prepared food inside the glass door refrigerator. Mary Dow, Garnier's daughter, reacted quickly, later telling the station that my instincts just kicked in. I don't even know how I knew how to grab that table and push it against him, but it's just all of the adrenaline. I just did what I had to do. At that point, Garnier ran over to help. Mama Bear just sprung into action to protect my property, my daughter, and anything further from damage, she told KABC. Garnier and Dow repeatedly pushed the table against the intruder, and it appeared that prevented him from getting any closer. I didn't want him to enter and get behind the counter. That's where our knives are, Garnier told the station. It would have been a lot simpler, she told KABC, if the man had just requested some food. If you just ask, I am more than happy to make you something to eat. But the fact he didn't say anything, he just came in and just aggressively tried to steal our food is what got me. Dow is of the same mindset, telling the station, I was ready to get down and use my hands if needed to. We've been working hard, making food all day, and that belonged to somebody. They paid for that. You can't just come in here and take what isn't yours. They filed a report with Westminster Police, who added to the station that they recognized the intruder in the video and were actively looking for him.
All right. Well, that's heroic. It's not like we usually have on the Home Defense Show.
No.
Sarah, why do you like that one so much?
Well, I can relate to it, I guess. I mean, I don't cook food for people who are paying for it, but I'd spend a lot of time in the kitchen. It takes a lot of work just to make a single meal, and they're making meals for other people all day long. I mean, feet sore, back sore, hands tired, brain tired. I can really imagine how these women are feeling. They've been working together all day, and this guy just comes in aggressive and tries to steal it. I mean, this is the kind of woman with a warm enough heart. She's like, if you just ask, I'll make you more food and you can eat it.
Yeah.
She's willing to do that. And they're holding him down with the table.
Yeah.
It's great. It's just great.
I think I would have done it differently.
Probably. But, but women are made, our strength is in a different part of our body, right? So they're using a table. You can
Well,
really shove that.
yeah. No, I think it's great
I
what they
think it's
did.
great.
I just wish they'd buy a gun and get some training so next time
Well,
they can just shoot him. Because, what's to say he ran away, but if it had been a violent criminal, he would have run towards them.
yeah, well, they had that table.
I think these lady were fantastic. I thought it was funny. A bad guy.
They didn't get hurt.
Well, yeah. I mean, but the bad guy, he got beat up by two girls with a table.
We spend all day cooking.
I think that is just so special.
Yeah.
That is precious, and I loved it so.
I hope he remembers.
Absolutely.
Politely next time. I'm going to give you what you want.
All right, Sarah, what do we got coming up next?
This is Sarah Coriel on the Home Defense Show. Coming up next, we'll talk with Gil Maza, a retired Border Patrol agent. Then we'll discuss a self-defense scenario in our ShootingClasses.com self-defense report with Sheriff Darleaf from the great state of Michigan.
In the meantime, God bless and stay safe. We will be right back.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Some say his face is painfully ugly, and I agree. But who cares? This is radio. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was a beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. Folks, we live in a dangerous world, and I want you to be able to protect and defend the ones you love. And that's why I have this show. It's my way of empowering you to accomplish one of your primary jobs in life. You are a protector and a defender. All right, listeners, before we get too far into the show, don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, and Center Shot Indoor Gun Range for all your training and equipment needs. And now for the fun, I want to welcome my good friend and fellow Marine veteran, Gil Maza. Gil, welcome to the Home Defense Show.
Ooh, Ron, happy belated birthday, Marine.
Oh, yeah, Ton Tavern, 1775. I was there. Were you?
Yeah, sitting there with all those other armed psychotics, getting ready to start a club for men.
Yes, and the
Yes,
club's
it
been
was.
going strong for a long time. Gil, you are also a retired Border Patrol agent.
Yes, I served in the Border Patrol for 25 years and basically the best job I ever had. I had a fantastic career work in San Diego, throughout San Diego sector, but I also got a chance to work across the country in almost every sector along the southern border, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, worked the northern border as well. And so it was a really great career.
Gil, why don't you give our listeners a synopsis of what is the state of the border right now?
Okay, well, the reason why I have been so involved in the last, since this administration came into power, because I retired in 2021 when Biden took office. And from that point, Skip, I describe this situation in the last 4 years as the greatest and deadliest taxpayer-funded illegal alien invasion in the history of our country. And that is easily bared out by every measurable metric available. So we've admitted probably by this time almost 50 million illegal aliens into the country, a large amount of them who are criminals and members of criminal cartels across the world, not just Mexico. And they have taken over the border. They are 100% in charge of the border right now. They have full carte blanche to do whatever they want. The border is pretty much unmanned and unsecured. So that has led to an influx of criminal aliens, of aliens from terrorist watch countries, military-aged, mails coming in from China. They've been placed across the country, I think strategically. And I believe at this particular point, there's been such an influx across the country that if one text message, one email, whatever it is, and they could literally overrun our police departments, our sheriff's departments, because I don't think anybody is really prepared for something like that.
This is Skip Coryell on Home Defense Show. We're speaking with Gil Maza, retired Border Patrol agent. Gil, the next 2 months before the inauguration seems like a really crucial time to me. We are at the height of our weakness. What are your fears over the next 2 months?
As of right now, the entire country, right, every last bit of infrastructure across this country has been affected by illegal immigration. Our medical is overwhelmed and overtapped. Our social services, our schools, our law enforcement, business, employment, all those things are just a mess right now. They're just overwhelmed, completely tapped out. And this happened, by the way, the first time Trump took office, is that now the word is coming out that the border is going to be shut down. So I believe, and we are already seeing a bigger influx of people coming in across the borders themselves. And this administration is going to even double its efforts to sneak in as many people as possible before the next inauguration. This administration has touted the idea that, oh, look, border crossings are down on the border, Del Rio, Tucson, California. But what's happening is they've done a wonderful job of sneaking them in on the back end through CBP-1, through flights, and also through basically maxing out every legal program out there to bring people in from other countries. Right now, they're running about 300,000 people a month under the wire that the public wasn't really seeing outside, even though that didn't work out for the Biden administration anyway.
You said earlier that you thought there are as many as 50 million illegal aliens in the United States. That sounds incredible to me.
They're already saying, everybody's already talking about the numbers are around 25 to 30 million. But, Skip, they're not counting gotaways. They're not counting the people that they're not catching and the people that are paying premium money to get snuck in a border that, again, 90% unsecured at any given moment. It's that monstrous amount of gotaways that people try to put a number on it. I love to see when they put a specific number on it. I was 2.3 million ... gotaways. Well, by definition, a gotaway is someone who eluded the Border Patrol, and we just simply have no idea the actual number of people that were able to sneak in without even us knowing about it.
2 days ago, I walk into McDonald's, I'm getting my big breakfast, and there are 5 Hispanics over in a corner, all military adult age males, and they're just chattering away in Spanish. And it's like, I have no idea what they're saying. I don't speak Spanish. The Biden administration and Kamala Harris, they say, oh, they're just people coming here for a better society. They want the American dream and all of that, and they're all good people. How do we know if they're good people or if they're not good people? And what's a guy like me supposed to think when I see guys like that?
Well, first of all, I want to say that it must be nice to still be young enough to eat whatever you want. Second of all, that's the argument, right? That even Chuck Schumer said, we want to legalize all of them. I don't care legally, it doesn't matter. He wants to legalize all of them because they're all a benefit to the country. But the thing about it is that the level of crime, right now, it's like 2,000 illegal aliens in New York are committing 51% of the crime. And most of them are from these Venezuelan gangs that have taken footholds in almost every entire city in our country. So many places in America right now where you can't walk around at night, you cannot move freely throughout the cities. San Francisco has become even worse than before with all the illegals. And this is the same party that says that America isn't celebrating the American dream, yet they feel like these illegal aliens that we are flooding the country with are going where? They're finding jobs, they're buying houses, they are getting the lion's share of every major organization that's supposed to help citizens, our veterans, medical for our veterans, homeless, all those resources. New York has spent millions, almost $1 billion in illegal aliens, while their own citizens languish in, on the streets, or can't pay rent, can't afford a house, can't even find a job. Chicago is the same way. It's all these places are a mess, and all the resources going to these individuals. And you have to wonder why, for some reason, during this last 4 years, our politicians, and on both sides of the aisle, by the way, seem to believe that it was more important to cater to the illegal alien than it was to the American citizens here. So we have reason to be concerned.
All right, Gil, we're out of time for this segment, but let's come back and I'm going to ask you, what should Donald Trump do in his second term here? So stay tuned. We're going to come right back, but during the break, I want you to celebrate the Trump victory by getting back into fighting shape. Go ahead and drop down and give me 50 push-ups and use good form. Go all the way down because I will be watching you. Stay tuned because we will be right back.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
The mere sound of his voice makes women swoon and men storm the gates of hell. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Home Defense Show. I'm your host, Skip Coryell, and now let's continue our conversation with Gil Maza, Marine vet and retired Border Patrol agent. All right, Gil, you gave us a summary of the big picture in the last segment. If you were called by Donald Trump and he said, hey, Gil, buddy, what do you think I should do over the next 4 years about the border? What would you tell Donald Trump?
Well, I've been looking at this very carefully, this entire time. And, I knew people would eventually ask me, what I thought the solution to this situation would be. Now, Donald Trump hired Tom Homan, the previous ICE director, and he was a former Border Patrol agent as well. That man is a good man. He has the right temperament for the job, but I believe that we should have been looking a little bit higher, Skip. This is going to be a full-scale operation. This is war. Maybe not in the sense that we're going to be shooting out on the streets, even though I do believe that once we try to take hold of our cities again and try to extricate these gangs from our cities, there's going to be violence, absolutely. And so I thought it took a man like possibly General Douglas McGregor, make that guy the border czar, make that guy the general of this fight. This is a full-scale operation that's going to have many moving parts, and it's going to require, like a lot of multiple surgical hits all at the same time, because the magnitude of the problem is our first thing, but the media frenzy, if we allow that to go too long, they will turn the public around, even though the majority of the public wants to see these people deported, see these criminals deported, not even allowed into the country for that matter, the border shut down. So I would have loved to see General McGregor as the lead guy, and then guys like Tom Homan, guys like Rodney Scott, that was a previous chief of the patrol. But we need people outside the loop, Skip. We need people that are not going to be caught up in the flow, that business as usual. We need someone that's going to come in with this full battle mindset, a trained general that could look at all the moving parts and then plug in the tool where it's needed at the right time, where DHS comes in, where Border Patrol comes in and shuts down the border, where ICE goes out, and along with special teams, because we're going to need sheriffs, we're going to need police departments, we're going to need all that cooperation to go out and do a clean sweep. And it has to be done surgically, and it has to be done quickly, because if we linger too long, public opinion will turn around.
Gil, I absolutely agree with you because we've seen it happen over and over again throughout American history. The
Yeah.
American voter is kind of fickle that way.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, we see a problem, we're hurting, we need to fix this, and we demand change. And then the guy gets in that's going to change it, and it's like, okay, we let him go 6 months, and then the media cranks up their machine and they talk about killing babies and
Separating
tearing,
families.
yeah, separating families, all of this stuff. And you're right, it's got to be done surgically with the least amount of collateral damage, but it's got to be done quickly, effectively, in a very organized way, just like a military campaign.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll fail. We got to get all these guys on the first sweep.
No, and that's the thing. Again, the police mind, the law enforcement mind, right? It only goes so far in the sense of, handling a situation, handling the issue at hand, handling those things. We can't do a lot of prevention. We can't do a lot of things outside of that. But a general can come in, right? Trained at war college, educated in all the aspects. And I believe, this is my personal opinion, that Douglas McGregor he knows this issue inside and out. He knows why it happened, how it happened, and then what it's going to take. And again, it has to happen. A lot of things happen at once so that it just, it looks like we just kind of overwhelmed the situation, came in, and then overnight, the majority of the issue got handled. I mean, there's still going to be stuff at the backside. People say, well, it's going to be way too expensive to deport all those people. No, it isn't. It's money we're already spending. We have full fleets like Global X, Skip. That's basically a taxi service for illegal aliens. When they want to go home for Thanksgiving or Christmas, they turn themselves in. Global X takes them anywhere they want in the world, and then they just sashay right back through DHS-1 or however, all the other ways that this administration has legalized to come back in. So the infrastructure, we're going to need the Army or most of the military services to come in, and this has to happen all at once. So an operation of this magnitude requires a military mind.
So it's like we're on the ocean, we're in a boat, the boat is leaking. The first line of defense is plug the holes in the boat. And
Yes.
so do we need to build a wall? We need to finish that wall.
Yes, we need to finish that barrier, because see, the other mistake people have made is that they think, okay, this is just a structure that's going to go up. Walls don't really work, except of course in your own home, right? But this wasn't just a wall structure. It was technology, infrastructure, surveillance, sensors, all these kind of things that work together with the wall. So the wall was a huge tool, or it will be a huge tool once we get the rest of it up, that will help the Border Patrol shut down that border. And then policy, Skip, policy. Trump has to come in guns blazing first day, reinstate everything that all those 100 executive orders that Biden got rid of simply because they had the name Trump on them. They didn't even think of the consequences, and reinstate those immediately, and then use the laws that are already on the books to go after all these criminals, all these aliens that have pending. Every single 99% of all these illegals that got released into the country, their asylum claim is a fraudulent claim anyway. They came back, and they came by law, they wouldn't qualify anyway, but they're going to come back in 5-7 years with children, with baggage, with everything else. And then what?
Well, what do you think about down the road, some type of immigration reform? If you come in legally, I've heard horror stories where it takes 10 years to become an American citizen. Should it be reformed so that it's more efficient, or should we just leave it the way it is?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because you know how you see that the up the road, you see that the lanes are going to merge. And so you jump into to the right lane, right, and get in line. But then what do you have, Skip? You have a million people filing in at the last minute, cutting in front of you at the last minute. So then that makes the line go longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. And that's exactly what's happened. We have completely abandoned all the people that have tried to are trying to come into this country legally, and allowed millions of people to jump the line. So that has bogged up the system entirely. But yes, we also need to go back and look throughout the years, throughout the decades. there was a good reason why immigration policy was important, because we were accepting people that were going to come to this country and become Americans, contribute to America, educated, literate, could read and write, could speak the language, all those things, right? That was the general idea about immigration. But what has happened in the last longer than that actually, is that we have allowed people to come in that are not literate, that are, that have no skills, that come in sick, that come in not educated. They've already brought diseases that we eradicated decades ago, are now making a full sweep throughout the southern border. So we have to prioritize legal immigration first. So shut the tap, prioritize legal immigration, get those people going through, look at that process and streamline it, and then open the gates again for proper legal immigration.
That sounds like a good plan to me. We're out of time, Gil. We could probably go on for hours, but you gave all my listeners a really good place to start. They need to think about all of this. Support President-elect Trump. I really think he's going to do the job, Gil. But Gil, how can people find out more about you?
Well, you can find me across all social media as Old Patrol HQ through Instagram, X, and Facebook. You can also find me my news page. I call it the Drudge Report of the Border. It's www.borderwatchdaily.com.
Sounds good. All right, Gil. Hey, I want to thank you, Marine Corps veteran and retired Border Patrol agent. Thank you for your service to our country, Gil. I appreciate it.
Skip, it was a lot of fun.
All right. Okay, folks, now it's time to take apart and clean your favorite everyday carry pistol. But do it quickly and be thorough, because your life may someday depend on a smoothly functioning firearm. God bless and stay safe. We will be right back.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
They say he eats crayons and his knuckles drag on the ground, but that's only half true. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. And I'm your host, Skip Coryell. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, and Center Shot Indoor Gun Range for all your training and equipment needs. And now it's time for our weekly self-defense report, sponsored by shootingclasses.com. And today we're speaking with Berry County Sheriff Dar Leaf from the great state of Michigan. Dar, welcome to the Home Defense Show.
Hey, how you doing, Skip?
Hey, I am fantastic. Normally we save this last 10 minutes of the show and we go over a specific crime and then we just break it all down and armchair quarterback it. We're not going to do that this week, simply because I want to do something different. This is my show. So, we just had, we just had Gil Maza on for the last two segments. Gil spent 25 years in the U.S. Border Patrol and he retired right after Joe Biden took office. And for the last 3 years, he has been doing updates on the state of the Border Patrol, illegal immigration, and all the effects of that. But I wanted to get a more local view because things have changed. Now, Donald Trump is our president-elect, and he has said he's going to come in here and he's going to plug the holes in the border. He's going to build a wall. He's going to mass deport illegal aliens from the United States. But before we talk about that, I want to get your opinion on that. But I also want to get your opinion on small town America. You're in a rural county, Berry County. What's the population roughly of Berry County?
Well, we're 576 square miles, 327 lakes that have names, and we have a population most of the time of 63,000 in the summer months because we have all these lakes. We get a lot of the snowbirds coming from the south back home, and we get a lot of Chicago people out here. They have cottages and stuff like that. So for the most part, we'll say 63,000 people.
Okay, so it's small compared to even some of our neighbors. Allegan County has more. Kent County certainly has more. But it's rural flyover America. And we're hearing all kinds of stuff in the news and have been for the last, 3 years about how crime has gone way up because of illegal immigrants. They'll talk about, people being, killed, women being raped, abducted, all kinds of, vile, foul, nasty things.
Crime as a whole, no. We're talking like your violent crime has gone up.
Okay.
What happened here in Michigan and our jail population when I first started was right around 60 to 80. Then it went up over 100. Now it's down between 40 and 50. It's because we changed a bunch of laws making stuff that was illegal legal.
That's one way to empty out your jails. I'm not sure that's the best way, though. As far as violent crime, I think it's gone up for the most part. But what about rural America? How does illegal immigration affect rural America from your experience, if at all?
Rural America, we don't really feel the effects of the illegal aliens yet. I'm sure it's going to happen. We're not feeling the effects like when they took over some of those apartment complexes over in these bigger cities. We didn't get that over here yet. I'm pretty sure we have some in here, but of course we have a lot of farms and we get a lot of Hispanic workers up here all the time. Same thing with the orchards, you get a lot of Hispanic workers. And now we got factories right now that are actually hiring some of these people from other countries. And part of it is because we can't get people out of our trailer parks to go out and work. So, what else are we going to do?
That's one way to look at it. I am seeing a lot more foreigners in America. I'm not anti-foreigner, but I do believe that if people come into America, they need to come in legally. If they want to be citizens, they need to assimilate into our culture. And when I visit places like, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Battle Creek, some of the larger cities that are in West Michigan, I see a lot more people, and I can't understand a word that they're saying. And so it does concern me. It really does. I guess what concerns me the most is we don't know who's in our country. The border seems to be wide open, and these people haven't been vetted. And now we're seeing the rise of, diseases that we had conquered a long time ago, like tuberculosis, coming in. And even back in the 1900s, the 1800s, when immigrants came in, they were vetted before they were just let loose into the country. And I'm not seeing that these days.
Oh, it is constitutional to have them vetted because our state representatives basically make the rules what it's going to take before you can come on in here and become a citizen. And the rules didn't say that we just leave the borders open and put the burden on our schools and stuff like that. Because my wife's a school teacher, and when you get somebody from another country and they don't speak our language, then we have to go hire an interpreter, which that's not free. So now you got interpreters coming from all around the world. Just think of the burden you're putting on your schools and your jails and your prisons, because we have to have the able to communicate with them when they get into our court system. So vetting, that's supposed to be done properly, and that is constitutional when they do that vetting. What we got going on right now is illegal.
Well, what about Donald Trump has said, okay, I'm going to mass deport people. How can he do that constitutionally?
Well, if they didn't follow the rules to get into the country, then they're breaking the law. And I got news for people. Our governor here in Michigan said that asked us to house them in our own homes because they're getting so many of them. I'm going, well, if you're doing that, then aren't you aiding and abetting in a crime? And who are you housing? They haven't been vetted. And how do you know you're not getting a terrorist next door? And next thing you know, your neighbor's house blows up to smithereens, and all your chemicals out of your house are missing. So
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump's doing the right thing in the deporting. And if you go look at what was given to us, there was countries that are emptying out their prisons and their insane asylums and sending them north on that border. So now they're our burden. That's not right.
The president-elect, he says that he will mass deport. He'll build a wall at the border. They can't come in anymore, which is a good idea. When you're out in the middle of the ocean and your boat's leaking, first you don't just keep rowing, you plug the leak. So I think that's a smart idea. But when it comes to mass deportation, how is he going to do that? Is it going to be all the burden of local law enforcement? Is it going to be federal? Is it going to be the military? Is it going to be a combination? What's the best way to go about that, in your opinion?
I'd be checking the jails first. Get your problem children out of the country first.
Okay, so anyone who is undocumented, they're in jail because they've committed a crime. Those are the first ones that you put on the plane and ship them off.
They were already being an extra burden because they were a
Yeah.
burden coming across to begin with. Because, what'd they do? They gave them a $5,000 cash card, a cell phone, and an airline ticket to go anywhere in the country. Oh, really? So now you get all that, then you end up in our jail, which a normal jail is probably right around $50 a day. Cost to house them by the time you get done with all the food, medical, all that stuff, because they're going to need extra medical because they don't have all the vaccinations and all the they're bringing other bugs that we've got, like you said, that we got rid of years and years ago, and now they're bringing them into our jail. What that does, if it spreads in the jail, now you have other inmates that are going to get it. It's a very, very bad situation that it got us in right now.
Yeah, I don't remember getting a $5,000 cash card. Maybe I should get in on that action. That sounds good.
Oh, you have to go down to Mexico and then come across the border.
Well, I could probably make a profit on that if I just keep doing it over and
Yeah.
over and over. Probably not. All right. Well, Dar, that's about all the time we have for that. We're going to find out because in 2 months it's going to be here, and Donald Trump will go ahead. I really believe he's going to do what he said he was going to do. So we'll find out, and maybe we'll touch base with you in 3 or 4 months and find out, hey, did Berry County, little tiny Berry County, did it have any illegal aliens? And are they still here?
All right.
All right, Dar, thank you very much for being on the Home Defense Show today. We appreciate it and all your service to our country.
Yeah, same with you. I know you're a jarhead. Once one, always one, right?
That's right. This is Skip Coryell on Home Defense Show, and that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, and the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com. I've written 20-plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my book, Civilian Combat, the Concealed Carry Book. The first person to email me at skip@homedefenseshow.com will get a free signed copy of the book. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys! Have fun storming the castle!